been a while since I've actually, like, hosted one, so, you know.
It's okay, we'll vibe our way through.
Yeah. I think the last time we actually hosted one, that might be no, I think one of the last times I hosted one was in, like, April or May.
Oh, wow.
Like, a planned one, and it was, like, an interview with an author, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait. Who was the author? I feel like I clicked on your blog and I saw it.
It was,
Wait, Trouble Girls?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So
I think we did that one, but the author's so sweet.
Yeah, she is. Like, we talked, and then, like, we had, questions, and we didn't even, like, and we got through, like, most of the questions, but, like, we ended up kind of just talking a lot throughout it, and, like, it was so cool to do it. Like, I was like, that was cool, and I enjoyed this experience. Like, it was, like, and I'm like, I want to do more of these. And, like, it was just kind of, like, I was like, hey, I had an arc of this, because I won an arc on Goodreads. Like, I entered a competition, and I totally forgot about it, and then I had forgotten I had a different email for my Goodreads account. Like, I put it on an email that I didn't sign into anymore. And then I was like, first of all, I need to change it. And second of all, I, like, signed into that email. And I'm like, oh, I did get a notification about that. And then, and so it was, like, unexpected. And I'm like, this book really just unexpectedly changed things for me. Because I'm like, this was, like, like, my first author interview, like, ever. And I'm like, and it was such a great experience.
That's
so awesome. And it was, like, such a great book. Like, I was like, oh my god.
So did you kind of just, like, ask yourself to get the interview opportunity?
What? Sorry?
Like how'd you end up interviewing? Like, that's so cool.
I think I saw a tweet. I was like, it might be fun to do an interview with her, but I'm not sure if, like, she would be, open to that. And then I saw a tweet that she was like, hey, if you want to do, like, an interview or, like, something for Trouble Girls, I'm totally up for it. Like, she just tweeted that out.
That's so cool.
Like, oh my god. And so I was like, oh my god, and so, like, I decided to do it, and I actually invited Luna from Books, Lattes, and Cottagecore, because
I see the comments over there.
Because she also got an arc. She got a NetGalley arc, which so I actually went and looked on NetGalley, like, after the fact, because I'm like, I feel like I saw the book and I looked at it when I opened it from Goodreads, and I looked at NetGalley and I was like, it, like, rejected from NetGalley, and I was like, okay, then NetGalley, I don't even need you. NetGalley.
That's awesome.
Hello. I don't have a timer yet.
That's okay.
It might be hard to find a timer. I'm hoping it's not going to be that hard because of how the restrictions are with my school and their firewalls.
You don't have to use a timer if you don't want to. I know half the people usually just say, like, read until this time. But if you just Google timer, I think there's one that automatically comes up on Google. Like, it's not a website.
Yeah, I also might have to just start a timer because I don't think I can share my screen on this. So I'm not sure, though. I'm trying to get into my phone so I can let people know we're live.
Oh, I'll tweet out a link too.
Yeah.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
I get so excited when I see people I know. Okay, I'm going to tweet out really quick that we are live. I'm reading a million books at once right now, so.
I kind of am too. So. Like, I have a book here that I've been reading since, like, at least May.
Oh, me.
But it's like not like, I mean, it's like a book that I'm in, like, it's not like I'm not enjoying it or anything. It's just that it's this, and like I'm enjoying it and I'm getting good advice from it, but I'm taking notes on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm like, I need to find time to do notes. So, but I'm also still reading this because I'm really bad at finding time to read. And also I was, I slept downstairs for like a week on the couch because I was sick, and then it was like anxiety that was making me sick, and I still felt terrible. And like now it's like, we're gonna get you into the doctors. So, because like I went to the ER Friday night, I think it was last Friday night, and they literally were just like, "Oh, you're dehydrated," and then I kept feeling like, I wasn't feeling great, and I'm like, I'm fine when I'm with people and I'm doing things, but like when I'm not, it's just, I feel horrible again, like terrible. And so, my mom was like, it's probably anxiety. I'm gonna make you a doctor's appointment, and then hopefully we're gonna go get to a different place, which I've actually already seen the person before. Like this person that she wants me to go back and talk to, I've met before, and I'm like, that'll be good. Like I haven't seen her in forever, but like, Well,
I hope everything works out. Hello, more people I know.
Hello.
Shouldn't you be asleep? I feel like we have very opposite time zones. Is Her Royal Highness technically like the second book in a series?
Yeah, it's the Royals thing by Rachel Hawkins. It's I think they're technically considered like companion novels, but like when you look at it, it's listed as the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was confused because I always see people talking about it, but just like the one that's marked as number 2, and I was like,
serious? Just like if you look at like Becky Albertelli's books, like the ones that she's written in like so this only like goes with Simon versus Homo Sapien, Gender, the episode of Unrequited, and Leah on the Offbeat, and Love Creekwood, but like technically the upside of Unrequited is counted as the second book in a series.
What's funny, I was literally just looking at that on Goodreads yesterday, and I saw 2 books marked as the second book, and I was like, what on earth? I am so confused. I want to read Her Royal Highness too, for the sapphic purposes.
Hello. I tried reading Royals, and then I didn't like it.
Is that also sapphic or no?
That one is not sapphic. That one is just a straight couple.
Boring.
I tried reading it, and like I got like halfway through it, and then I was like, I asked one of my friends, and I was like, hey, so do you want this? Like, I gave it to a friend because I hated it so much. And I'm like, I might have kept it if I realized that it was like literally the last copy in the Books A Million I went to. And then I found out like later on that they changed, I don't know if they do this only with paperback, but they changed the title to Prince Charming for the paperback printing.
Oh.
Because I guess like the series name is Royals, and so like I'm like, if I kept that, I could have had something that was like special. But I didn't keep it. So, Hello. Okay, I'm not trying to.
I've been wanting to read it too. I love the cover.
Me too. I always look at it and I think of Haley in Bookland. My mind went blank for a second there. I like look at it and I'm like, that looks like Haley in Bookland to me for some reason, and I don't know why.
Gosh, this was reminding me I'm technically hosting a sapphic readathon right now, but lately I've literally been reading the most heterosexual books to ever exist, ever. Like, I'm reading this one series that I really liked as a kid. There's probably like a million books in the series, and they don't have a single queer character until like 10 years later.
Oh,
because the series has been going on for like practically a decade. But
and like, I forget what I was going to say. Half of my library, like half of the books I have, are sapphic. Like 13-year-old me really just bought all the sapphic books.
That's awesome.
And then I saw like, because I watch and like half of these I got from Problems of a Book Nerd. Like she's like one of the first booktubers I ever subscribed to, and I was like, I like her because she recommends sapphic books all the time.
I feel like when I was that age, I mean, I'm not like significantly older than you, but like even so in the past few years, I think publishing has really changed because I just was looking in the wrong places, but like sapphic books really weren't a huge thing. Like, of course they existed, but they just weren't things you could easily find if you weren't digging around, you know?
Yeah. I mean, when I first started to really read, it was like kind of 7th grade, but that was like more of like a graphic novel thing. Like I went through a big graphic novel phase. The first sapphic book I ever read was Spinning by Tilly Walden.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Tilly Walden.
It's like her graphic memoir, but I was like, oh my god. And then of course I got, into booktube and stuff, and but like what actually really started me reading, like my mom likes to believe it was the Harry Potter series. I'm sorry, Mom, it wasn't. It was the Percy Jackson series. I blame it on my English class in 8th grade. We were doing a bookopoly thing, and even though I don't like to say I'm competitive, my 8th grade self decided she wanted to be the first one in the class to finish it. So I was like, I'm going to complete them all. And one of them was like, try a new fantasy book or something, or like a new series. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do Percy Jackson because I'd heard great things about it. Mainly from some friends. And then that's how I got close with my current friends.
Oh, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Every single time someone says they're on a book buying ban, I get the desire to like buy them a book, and then every time I check their Amazon wish list, and then I remember if you don't live in the same country, you have to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
Like, never mind.
I constantly try to put myself on book buying bans, and then they never work.
Yeah, so, I get that.
I am also going into 11th grade.
I feel like an old lady. I'm going into my 3rd year of college. Hi, Emily. Hello. I've lost my hands. 700 words.
Wow. I have a couple sentences in my writing journal. That is the most I've written. Yeah. When I was like a really young child, first of all, a lot has changed. And I think it's weird because I think back at it now, I'm like, I don't know if I would have come out at the time I did if I still. So when I was younger, first of all, I lived in Tucson, Arizona. Let me explain that first. And I'm like, I don't know if I would have come out at the same time I did if I wasn't living here in Maine. And I think it's just because of like the environment it is in, or how just things are there, because like that's a red state, and so I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would have been, and like I don't know if I would have gotten into reading, because I always say what really started my love for reading was the 8th grade bookopoly thing that we did, and I'm like, my life I feel like would be wildly different if I hadn't moved here, and it's really weird to think about.
Yeah.
like, but like when I was younger, the books I read were like nighttime bed stories, and it was like the Laura Ingalls Wilder series, which like I still love, and like, you know, I will always love because it's just such a big part of my childhood. But I'm like, you know, that took place in the 1800s, whatever time. They didn't have any queer characters, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, both of you. It's almost a good thing, though, that I can't really buy things for people in different countries because, oh my God, maybe that wasn't you. Sorry, I'm looking at a different comment, but yeah.
I think my mom keeps them in her closet. So I don't have any of them, but I'm like, that's definitely something I need to buy at some point just because. I'm
literally on our live stream right now, responding to comments.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Let me grab something. Wait, I don't want you guys to see me in my pajamas. Everyone should grab an Ace Space bookmark, just saying. Look at how cute. For my fellow aces, you could be ace. These aren't mine. I think there's a link on the Ace Space Twitter. Used to be on. Anyways, unnecessary promo for stuff that isn't mine.
Oh. I just bought something off of Etsy today, and I was like, you know, I really have a problem with buying things off Etsy now.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I'm like, you know, I used to order everything from Amazon, and then I'm like, Etsy, no. It was like, I have pride flags here now that I got from Etsy. So.
I've also heard that Etsy has been ripping off creators. Like they're taking a larger portion of their sales, I don't know, for fees and stuff. And then I feel bad because like I want to support creators, but now like how much of my money is actually going to them?
I still have a little card here from one of the stickers I got.
Oh. Sometimes I just want to say like, let's do a little sneaky Venmo so that way you can get all the money. Like
it has a little mushroom stamp in it.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
Buying stickers off of Etsy is really dangerous because sometimes they're pretty cheap, so I will buy all of them.
Okay, but it was
not cheap anymore.
This one, I have it down here. I threw it. This one right here. It was not. This one was $2.
Oh my gosh!
So I was like, I must. And then I like putting stickers on everything I own. I have a folder that's filled with them. I have a little sticker from like a local cafe. It's a very nice place. They have very good food. And I don't know what this one is, but it's a Western Foothills Land Trust. I also found that at the Nomad Cafe. So, and then I have one from when I got my COVID vaccine.
Nice.
Too indecisive of where to put it.
See, that's the thing. I buy the stickers and I don't put them anywhere. I put them in a little stack in my drawer and not put them on any surfaces.
I used to be that way, and then I was like, if I don't put them somewhere, I'm gonna miss seeing them, and so I started sticking them where I could. I think that might have been like an anxiety thing or something. I don't know, and I just blamed it on anxiety. Anxiety.
I do have stickers on my laptop, but those are very like carefully picked out. Like I went all in one go, picked out stickers that would specifically be for my laptop.
See, I want to put stickers on my laptop, but I don't own the laptop, and like you have to take them off at the end of the year. And I'm like,
yeah.
So, you know. But my mom did say she was going to buy me a laptop for my graduation. So I'm like, you know what, I'll put stickers on that one.
Sorry, I got excited. Sunfish Press. We'll be looking it up right now. Emily, if I spend money tonight because of you, we're going to have some problems. Sunfish Press. Oh my gosh, and they're cheap too.
Oh, God.
Tisk.
This is dangerous.
Shipping's only 50 cents too? Oh gosh.
I really want to know. I was thinking about Etsy. I really want to know where the person who bought me this got this, because I don't know if they found it on Etsy or what, but I'm like, I really want to see if they have others. It's little Simon versus the Homo sapiens.
Oh, that's so cute.
Proud. And like these people, they're like family friends, and I opened it and I was like, oh my God, like I loved it so much. And like, so the mom of this family looks at me and she was like, I was so excited when I saw that. Like, I was so excited for you to open it. And I was like, yes, you know me. Like, they've seen me. I've read that book like 8 times. It's like a comfort read. So they've seen me read it 8 times.
Okay. Thank you, Emily. I will be making purchases tonight, so this is all your fault. But look, there's like, oh, you cannot see a thing. Hold on. Well, that's terrible. Like, but they have like little concert ticket stickers. This is One Direction, and they're $2 and only 50 cents for shipping. So I will be purchasing stuff for me right now and birthday presents. So, thanks.
How long do we want to sprint for?
Honestly, I'm good for whenever. This is like if this is late in the night, usually I'm like, okay, y'all, I gotta leave right now for work, but
yeah,
I'm good.
I just realized we've been streaming for 22 minutes.
Whoops, then we haven't even started.
We have not sprinted once.
Emily, this one's really cute too. And the Taylor Swift ones, oh, I'm not even going to be reading them. Now I'm going to be looking at concert tickets, or not concert tickets. Oh my gosh. Whatever, you know what I'm saying, stickers.
See, the thing is, like, I'm thinking about this now because we were talking about One Direction. I never went through, like, the One Direction phase or, like, the boy band phase, ever. And I was like, what's the thing with boy bands? Like, why are you so obsessed? And then
I got into... Sorry, I thought you were talking.
I look back now and I realize I'm like, maybe it was because I wasn't into cute teenage boys. I'm still not into teenage boys. I'm not into any boys. So, I think that might be.
Hey, I didn't get into One Direction until I was like literally older than you are now.
But you know who's into you know who was into One Direction when they were a thing? My brother.
Oh, really?
Like, obsessed. He was, I don't even remember how old, but like, we got him a One Direction calendar for Christmas. His favorite gift. It was so cute. Like, it was so cute. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I never really liked, when I was growing up, I didn't like boy bands. Like the typical pop boy bands. I liked the angsty emo bands that I would never call boy bands, but they're basically angsty boy bands.
See,
like I was a diehard My Chemical Romance fan.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
When I was growing up, I just listened to what my parents listened to, and then once I downloaded things like SoundCloud and Spotify, I really got into my own thing, and a lot of it was like things like Girl in Red and Haley Kiyoko, and I told myself I only like that. I was like, I like these songs because of their beats. I'm like, yeah, okay. Now I look back, because it was like songs like Girls Like Girls, and I look back at it now and I'm like, okay, you believe that. Good for you. Go ahead and believe that. But you know what? I did not know anything back then, so.
I'm still looking at the stickers. I'm sorry.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff I listened to was like, I don't know. I can't even remember now. It was like, I can't name half of the bands that my parents listen to now for some reason. It just goes blank from my mind. I'm not good at test taking. I'm not good under pressure. My eyes. But the other thing is, my range of interest in music is like wildly huge. Like, I have a huge range of what I listen to. And then I was like talking to somebody else about it today, and they're like, you don't just like, one thing. And they're like, I think I showed them my playlist, and they're like, wow, you have a wide range of things on there. And then somebody else was like, I think that's like an ADHD thing. And I'm like, oh great, another thing that I didn't know was an ADHD thing. That is an ADHD thing. It's like, but it's weird because like I'll listen to a playlist, and 1 minute I could be listening to like Put You in Your Place from the Lightning Thief musical, and then the next moment it's Heaven is a Place on Earth. And I'm like, those songs are two completely different things.
I feel that. I was listening to whatever. I haven't seen the High School Musical show. I just watched the movies for the first time like a month ago. But whatever the High School Musical show that Olivia Rodrigo is in, I was listening to that soundtrack today, like back to back with like death metal bands, like Cannibal Corpse. So
yeah. And I'll be sitting there listening to something, like something from like AC/DC, and then all of a sudden it'll be like a Catherine Gallagher song. And like I'm like, this is something that I should expect because I have like all of her songs on my playlist. But like it's also really weird because like her songs aren't AC/DC, they're like indie pop.
Mm-hmm. Jojo Siwa. Okay, but Jojo Siwa. Yeah. I think we can all agree that Jojo Siwa.
I saw that video of her at that like softball thing, and I'm like,
we all saw that video.
I'm like, now I have a crush on Jojo Siwa, so
And that's okay.
That's okay. My little cousins are obsessed with Jojo Siwa, and they haven't talked about her in a while. And like, I'm like, uh-oh. And okay, what you need to understand is that these cousins are on my dad's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, not great with the LGBTQ stuff. And I'm like, did their mother hear about this and then like go batshit crazy about it? Like, did she hear that like she was queer and then like go batshit crazy and like no more Jojo Siwa?
Oh gosh.
I'm like, I can imagine that's something she'd do. She's going a little insane right now because we went to go clean out my grandmother's apartment the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why she's so attached to all this stuff. And I'm like, Carolyn, it's been her home for over 16 years. And you're sitting here like you need to get out. And you're sitting here acting like she's moving out in a day. Like, she's still living here. Like, yes, she may be dying, but like, you don't have to move her out now. Like, yeah. I was literally like sitting there the other day, and I'm so glad I got out of there.
Oh.
Cause like, okay, I was sitting there and I was looking at, I'm using my mom's Fitbit right now to like track my heart rate. My heart rate was up at like 148. That is not a normal heart rate. I was sitting down and my heart rate was 1 47 or something like that. And I'm like, that is not a normal resting heart rate. My resting heart rate is like 84.
Oh my gosh.
Like, my heart rate shouldn't be up at. And then as soon as my uncle, he was like, my grandmother lives not too far from a school, an elementary school that we have here. It's called like Sherwood Heights or something. It's like they have a nice park there, you know, and some trails. And he's like, how about we go down there with the girls, get them out of here, you know, give these people some space. And I'm like, yeah. As soon as I was out of there, it went back down. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely like stress. It was definitely like a stressful situation that I was in because we're, you know, going crazy, everybody.
Sounds like it. Also, don't mind me ducking in and out of screen. I'm taking bites of my dinner.
Oh my. Yeah, but that was a crazy day. And then I had to drive the next day. So, you know, fun stuff. It's been a pretty busy week considering that we said we were doing nothing this week. So, you know. Ow. What is this? Oh, it's little doodles. Oh. I doodle a lot when I read books. That is supposed to be a horse. I'm not that good at drawing horses.
That's so cute.
Please mind my terrible.
No, it's cute.
The poor unicorn.
Also, I will warn you right now. My laptop's on 24%.
Oh God, it fell. Some cat. That's Chester and Dog. This is Chester. They are my characters.
That's so cute.
I let my friend name them. So that's how one of them ended up being named Dog. You know. Because
okay, I finished my dinner.
Ugh.
All right, I am bringing you all to bed with me. That sounds weird. Because my laptop's about to die and I need my charger, which is by my bed. Oh gosh, don't look at my messy floor. You're just gonna have to see the ceiling for now. If you see me in my pajamas, no you don't. Last time I streamed, someone asked me about, and I quote, my wet dog behind me.
Oh.
Hilarious. Okay.
Oh God.
Yes.
I have way too many bookmarks. I'm sitting here looking at my mug of bookmarks. I don't just have one mug. I have several mugs.
One of my personally favorite self-destructive behaviors is convincing myself I'm making tea. That's so cute.
Many bookmarks in here.
I love that. Yeah, I love to make tea at night to pretend I'm like all cozy and comfy, but I always choose tea that has caffeine in it, and then I have regrets.
And then I keep all the little stringy kind of ones in here. My friend got me this for my birthday. She tends to get me fancy bookmarks for my birthday. For some reason, that's a trend. She gets me books and fancy bookmarks.
Oh.
So, you know. She got me 3 books this year, actually. I was like, you didn't have to do that, but okay. And they were books that I, like, really wanted to read. Like, she didn't ask this year, but I was like, you did really good with book choices, because she got me The Poppy War, which I've heard is good. She got me The Ones We're Meant to Find.
Ooh.
And she got me Hyperbole and a Half, just this like little graphic novel. I can look over here and read all the titles off, because I have a little book pile on my floor that I call the book pile of shame, because most of them have been bought within the last month. There's like 3 of them on that stack that I haven't bought, but like the rest of them I bought, and I'm like, you have no home because I bought you all so fast. I have very strange dreams too. Always. I don't know why they have to be so strange. They get worse when I have fevers.
Uh-huh.
I call them fever dreams, even though I technically know that's not what a fever dream is, but I'm like, I'm still going to call them that because I can. So, but like, I call them fever dreams because I only have those like very, very weird and obscure dreams when I have a fever. So, like, what else am I supposed to call them?
I get that.
Like, these are dreams that I can't even describe because they're just so weird. Like, if I tried to describe it to you, I don't even know how I could. Okay. You want to do a sprint for 15 minutes now?
Yeah, sure.
Streaming for 36 minutes and haven't done a sprint yet, so okay. I'm starting it now.
All right.
And we'll see you guys in 15 minutes. That was the timer that I have on my phone.
Awesome.
I actually didn't spend that long reading because I was signing up for free trials of things. I've literally been using this because this is a gift card I was given and it still has like a couple of cents on it, but I'm like, as long as I have it and it has a couple of cents on it and it's not expired yet, I can just use it to sign up for things, for the free trial of things, and then I don't have to use anything that like actually is gonna get me in trouble. So
Awesome.
no. I did Scribd first, and then they were like, oh, the book isn't available yet. So I'm like, fine, I'll just do Audible because they have pretty much everything. So.
Also, was that really only 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Because I read like 40 pages, so awesome on my behalf.
Yeah. Luckily, though, Scribd did have Blackout, which I just bought.
Oh, cool.
So I might just download that because I'm going up to a cabin. And I'm like, that'll be such a nice read, you know, to have there.
Emily, 2 pages is still great. I mean, you made 2 pages of progress. That's some progress. I'm almost done with this book. I'm determined to finish it tonight.
Yeah. I kind of want to finish this one tonight. That's why I decided to get the audiobook. And I'm like, I'm going to be up packing tonight anyway. So what will it really matter?
I have like 100 pages left of this. But if I read 40 pages in 15 minutes, then
yeah,
do like 45 minutes, an hour to finish.
I just really need to stop reading, like, you know, 3 books at a time.
Oh.
And then actually finish a book. Because not only am I reading this one, I'm trying to get through notes for this one, right? I'm reading this. And then it's over here. I have to go grab it. I literally went down to get it. I got this, and now I'm reading this too.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I took a screenshot of someone who started following, oh my gosh, English. I took a screenshot of someone who started following my reviews on Goodreads, and on their currently reading shelf on Goodreads, it said 303 books.
Oh my god.
I know. Lauren, are you liking Last Night at the Telegraph Club? Oh, you are enjoying it. I didn't read the whole sentence there.
And then I have
you enjoy it.
Little pieces of paper, and I picked, after I wrote down all those book titles, I just wrote them down on pieces of paper. I'm like, I'm just going to pick out some if I'm struggling, and then I'll just try a small little TBR this this month. And I'm like, but then if I don't have, you know, usually I'm just going to use it if I don't have any idea what to read. And I actually picked out some decent books. Like, I was surprised. So I got Ink in the Blood, which is a sapphic book. So, you know, it's like a sapphic tattoo magic book or something. I know it's sapphic and it has to do with tattoo magic or something like that. That is the only description I got from the YouTube video I watched and saw it in. And it's sapphic. I was instantly like, yes, I will buy. And then I got The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which I have I still need to enter myself back into that app. I have my library, the one in the town I go to school in, has this little service. You can get Canopy through it, which is like a little movie watching thing that you can get through libraries, and like they have The Miseducation of Cameron Post on there. And I don't know where else it streams. I think maybe Netflix, but like it's nice because some of the movies on there are like movies they only have on Netflix. But I can watch them on Canopy, some of them. I forget which one it was. I saw something. and it was like something that I had watched on Canopy, and somebody was like posting about it, that it was on Netflix, and I was like, I've seen that. I watched like 8th Grade. I watched like The Florida Project, which I knew was on Netflix, but I was like, it sucks because I don't have a Netflix thing anymore. It was first of all expensive, and we never really watched it. And then I got one book that like I literally just stole from my grandmother's house because she kept it upstairs in a little. She made like when they first moved into this house, they made a little like apartment area place. And they said they were going to rent it out to kids who were going to the community college, which was like really close to their house. And then they never did, because that's like where all their guest rooms are now. And so they were like, well, we can't do that. Luckily, though, they are letting a family friend stay there. So, and I'm like, now when I'm planning to go to that community college before I go anywhere else. And so I'm like, it'll be nice because then I can stay at my grandparents' house and I don't have to pay rent, because my grandparents would not make me pay rent. They are not, no. So I have those two, and then I have The Unbearable Lightness of Being, because I was like, you know what? I read the back first. I was like, I'm not going to take it if I don't want it. But I'm like, this seems interesting, so I'll take it. And so I just have those 3. I've heard it's good. I forget, there was somebody in it who I found out about the movie because there was somebody in it who I knew. And now I forget who that was.
It's not Chloe Grace Moretz, is it?
I don't know.
Let me look it up. I didn't see the movie. I thought the book was okay.
Oh, no, it is. Okay.
It is Chloe Grace Moretz?
Yeah, she plays Cameron. I was thinking Florence Fong for some reason. I don't know why I always get those two. I don't get them mixed up, but like I always look at them like I don't remember which one that is, and I don't know why I look at it and think that, because when I actually look at them next to each other, I'm like, I don't think they look that much alike, but whatever, I guess. Yeah. But what's really nice is I like watching adaptations of books because I like kind of writing about them. The only one I've ever done for that is Simon versus the Homo sapien gender. I literally wrote down the differences and then kind of wrote a little mini paper on it, and I was like, I enjoyed doing that, so I'm gonna start doing it with other things. But I haven't done it with anything else, but I'm like, I can do it with that one. So it might have been.
Oh, what was that?
It might have been The Miseducation of Cameron Post, actually, that I saw that was on Netflix. But I can't remember what it was.
Lauren asked how we are all enjoying our books. And let me just say, this is I never talk about it on BookTube, but this is my favorite book ever. And I never talk, because I feel like on BookTube, if you don't talk about popular books, no one's going to listen to you, which is why I never talk about this series. But it's quite literally my favorite series. I've not read a single book more than this series.
I'm enjoying this one. I'm liking it. Yeah, I think my most read book is Simon versus the Homo sapien gender. That's when I've read the most.
Oh, really?
You count a graphic novel. I think other than graphic novels, which I use sometimes to pick up for, over and over again just for no reason. But yeah. Oh wait, you know what it was? I was still trying to think about that movie that I saw. It was posted on Net. Somebody posted it and it was on Netflix. It was Lady Bird.
Oh, I love Lady Bird. I've seen it twice.
And I always wanted to watch it, but I was like, oh, I can't now because it's on Netflix. And then I found Canopy, and I was like, wait, they have it on Canopy. So, but like it was weird because I saw it and I didn't immediately recognize it, because on Netflix they'll do this weird thing where the cover of the show will sometimes be different from what it actually from like others. I think it's just because like
I've
depending on what you watch and what your interests are, they're trying to grab you with a different cover than, others.
The first book is not great. I will say that. The first book is not the strongest by any means. And it is really long. Usually I don't like reading series in general, and I don't like picking up series that are incomplete. But to be fair, I started reading this when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So when I started, the third book had just come out, and now there are 7, 8, 9, 10. The 11th book is coming out. There's like almost 30 novellas. Yeah.
There are so many books in that series.
I know, but when I started again, it was only the third book that had just come out.
Actually, I was having a conversation about that with a friend when we were at the pool today. The Last Kids on Earth series, I remember seeing that like when we had like Scholastic book fairs. I don't know how many books are in that series, but I feel like so many have come out in such little time, because I remember being in like whatever grade and like hearing about the first one coming out. Now there's like, oh yeah, there's like 10 or something, and I'm like, you're coming out with more than one book a year. How does this happen? More than one book in the series a year, and I'm like, I know it's a middle grade series, but like,
Also, that last comment, Lauren, Youngly said no clue what was ahead. One day I will find my old iPod and hope to God it turns on again, because I know that I have these crusty selfies of me when I was in middle school, like 12, 13 years old, of me like holding up each new release as they're released. One day I'll dig those up.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Emily, this is very true. I really love making videos, and I love like connecting with people and talking to, new people. But sometimes get a little sad. Because like if you talk about the popular books, or if you do trendy videos like book hauls, book on hauls, stuff like that, you'll get views. If I talk about books I actually really like, no views.
It's the same for like Book Talk, which is weird because like I'm on Book Talk sometimes, and I'm like, I have a
where are you?
But like I don't know if I want to post anything on it, and usually I kind of just scroll through TikTok. And now I'm like scared of TikTok because I got yelled at the other day because I told somebody that you can't be a lesbian if you're a man. I'm like, that's not how it works. No. Like I'm not gatekeeping. You just can't. It's not. No.
Oh my gosh, I'm falling asleep. I used to take a lot of cringy book selfies. I'm so glad I didn't start BookTube when I was in that phase. Like, hold on, let me just open up my phone. Song of Achilles. Oh yes.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I've had Instagram since I was in like 6th grade, and so I scroll back down through these things. Oh my god. So I scroll back down through these things, right? And I'm like, oh my god, what was I thinking? Like, first of all, I don't even have the same Instagram account because like I got locked out of that one, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna abandon that one because it's literally just pictures of chickens. Let's not do that anymore. But like even now I look through my like personal Instagram account and I look at it, and it's like I have this one thing where it's like at least 10 photos are all in black and white, and I'm like, I was going through a black and white photo phase. What was I thinking?
I joined Book Twitter when I was 12 years old, and then my account got deactivated when I was 18, and I'm really, really glad it got deactivated. All that evidence wiped away.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then they got even more mad at me. I was like, don't get pissy with me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am a child. Somebody also got angry at me because today I was talking to somebody and they asked me if I was a boy or girl non-binary. And I'm like, it's not how it works, actually.
I'm literally looking at on Carly's channel right now. Oh my gosh. Is this like a relatively new channel? How do people get 122,000 subscribers in 8 months? What am I doing wrong? I ask myself that all the time.
Who knows? It's a cat thing. I made this in occupational therapy a long time ago. And let's not fall down, please. I might as well just take it off. I'll stick that back up later. It was such a cute baby.
Oh.
I'll just put it back up there now. I have 2 baby photos because they were used. One was used for the thing at my 6th grade, something at my 6th grade graduation. And so, like, they gave me the envelope back, and I just didn't give it to my mom like I was supposed to. And I was like, my picture now. And then the second one was because it was in my 8th grade yearbook. So
That's honestly so cool. One day, if the algorithm ever wants to be kind to me, I'm here. I'd appreciate it, you know?
The algorithm is never kind to me ever, so, you know.
Oh my gosh, Carly only has like a few videos. Sometimes I get jealous when looking at booktubers.
Sometimes I get the weirdest recommendations on my page. Like, I'm like, my recommendations page is just crazy. I'm like, I don't know why I'm getting all these recommendations for things that I've never shown interest in before. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Because, like, I don't let my cousins use my phone. I'm like, the only excuse I could have, because, like, I get things from, like, Cocomelon. I'm like, I don't watch Cocomelon. I spend my days watching BookTube. And I'm like, you know, I could understand if I, like, let my cousins use my phone, but I stopped doing that after they got, like, I let them play with my phone. They got onto Instagram and DM'd some random dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look and I'm like, who is this dude? How did they find him? He was the brother of, like, a Broadway performer I followed, and I'm like, he's gonna think I'm a fucking stalker. Like, because, like, I look and I'm like, I can't even, like, I couldn't, like, the only way I could guess that they found him is, like, they looked at a photo he was tagged in or something, and I'm like, I'm looking through this trying to figure out how they could have found this person, and I'm like, there's a photo from, like, 2 years ago that he's tagged in, but, like, what the heck? And I'm like, so, like, I just, like, instantly deleted and hope he didn't see it, because I was like, I clicked on it, right? I clicked on his account, and I'm like, he hasn't been on here since, like, 2017, so let's cross our fingers that he didn't see that, because yeah. And that's kind of like, I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll just tell them to stay off Instagram this time. The last time I let them use it, and then I didn't, and then they didn't, and then they ended up, like, trying to video call somebody who I, like, mentioned in my story, like, once, and I'm like, okay, no more phone for you. You don't get to do that anymore, because you DM random dudes to make them think I'm some creepy stalker, you know. So they don't get to use my phone anymore. I don't remember how I found half the people I'm subscribed to. I'm like, I found you once. No.
Yeah, I don't remember usually either. I feel like a lot of the people I've subscribed to, I found right when I started, like during the pandemic, because now I just have like a lot less time to watch BookTube.
Yeah.
So I just go off of who I've subscribed to. But like if I talk to people and meet new people, obviously I subscribe to them. But
I mean, when I first did it, like that was what I had for like background noise. When the pandemic first started, I had like background noise and like I constantly had something on if I wasn't doing like school because like we got into the pandemic and then I got like really depressed and I was like, I don't want to be alone. So I used booktubers to keep me company. Honestly,
I've actually tracked everyone's YouTube. I've gone in there and made sure you subscribe to me.
Actually, I think I found you through the Buddy-a-thon thing, which I totally about. I don't know what happened. I forget who I was doing it with. If you're on here, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot about that. Just whew. Yeah, mine I watch sometimes I get in deep like wormholes of like watching like news for some reason. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. And so like it'll be all like news things and it'll be like stupid things too. Cause it'll be like it'll be something like kid gets Build-A-Bear for a stranger and I'm like, cool. I don't care about the kid who got a Build-A-Bear for a stranger, like nice. See, but the thing is they're not allowed to use my phone anymore. So I don't let anybody else use my YouTube. Like my little cousins aren't allowed to use my phone because of the incidences that I previously talked about. I decided it would be better off if they didn't use them because we don't want to be, DMing the brothers of random Broadway actors.
I'm so sad right now. Sorry if you saw me like slowly like making faces. I just got a notification for a text. I tried like reconnecting to people from high school today, and I've just been really disappointed with my responses that I've been getting.
Yeah. See, it's very weird because when I think about it, I'm like, why am I getting all these things? I'm like, the first thought I think is like, oh, it was, I was letting somebody else watch my YouTube. And I'm like, no, I never do that. I never let them touch my phone. Like, I have my phone close to me now because I'm like, they're going to try to get into it anyway. And like, I can't. I think, I don't know if I like am thinking way too much about this, but I'm like, I cannot, like, I'm like, I don't think that guy that they DM'd even saw it, but like, what if I'm somebody and they do see it and they're not like somebody I'm like, instantly like connected to? Like, if I'm connected to them anyway, I could explain that, but like, how do I explain to like, somebody who was just like tagged in a random Broadway actress's post that my cousins got a hold of my phone? Like, that's gonna sound like a lie. It doesn't want to open. Oh, God.
Did you want attempt? Oh my gosh, English. Did you want to attempt to do another sprint?
Yes. I'll set a timer on my phone again. And then we'll going. Okay. We're gonna do a 15-minute sprint again, starting now. That was 15 minutes. Oh God. Okay. Ugh. Dropping things. It's a little jar that has buttons in it.
Oh, that's cute.
I just keep little fun-shaped buttons.
Oh.
In it. 10 pages. I'm not counting pages right now because I'm listening to the audiobook, so it's a little hard.
I struggle with math, but I want to say that's like 5 times more than last time. And that's a lot of times more. So good for you.
Oh yeah, annotating. It takes longer when you're annotating. Ooh.
I can never decide if I like annotating or not.
I mean, I've annotated a couple books, and I've tabbed more books than I've actually like annotated like fully. Like I've never really been into writing in books, but like I did. A book was kind of falling apart, so I was like, you know what, I'll just fully annotate it and write in it and highlight it. But I tabbed Smell of Other People's Houses. After I read it for that like stay-at-home reading rush thing they did early last year, like early. It was like March of last year when we were like first in quarantine. I read that as an audiobook, and then later I went back and bought it because I loved it so much, and I'm like, now I'm gonna tab it up. I've tabbed Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, which I want to get that new like pretty cover that they have. I forget who's selling it, but like they had a cover of it and it was like pink. I don't remember who was selling it, but I wanted that new cover. I'm like, I will write in this one I have that I've had forever. And then I fully annotated To Night Owl from Dogfish because I got the newer, like I got a paperback version. I was looking through Amazon once and I saw the like officially like released US paperback cover, and I'm like, I love this so much more than the other one I have, so I'm just gonna do that one. And then once I started reading the original copy I had, I noticed it was starting to fall apart, so I'm like, you know what, might as well annotate this. Yeah. 14 pages.
Celebratory dance for you. 14 pages. I think I read more like 30 pages this time. Maybe like 35. That's a really fast book. It's so good. I wish more people would read this series and not tell me it's a bad series.
I read a lot of contemporary stuff, which is weird because like a lot, like I feel like half of the stuff I have is like fantasy stuff because like when I first started reading I was really into a fantasy thing, but now I realize I like contemporary more, and I really like contemporary that takes place at like boarding schools or like colleges, that sort of thing, because I kind of like the like, you know, in a dorm, you know, just hanging out kind of scenes and like the feel of that for some reason. I don't know why I like it so much. I've never had anything like that, but I just like it. I find it cozy. Like even when I was reading like Harry Potter, those were like some of my favorite scenes, even though, you know, you have all those other scenes that makes up probably less than 1% of the series. But I'm like, those are my favorite scenes, even though they barely ever happen because this is like a fantasy series where they're, you know, doing whatever.
Emily, I agree with you about fantasy. I've never really been a big fan of fantasy. I know when I was younger, I did at least read like dystopian and maybe some like lighter fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, I'm rereading a book that's technically like sci-fi fantasy for nostalgia purposes, but otherwise I almost strictly read realistic fiction.
I feel like I have a pretty wide range of like genres. Maybe that's because of my ADHD. I don't know. Sometimes I just blame things on my ADHD and think that's why it happens. I don't know if it actually is, but you know. Yeah. Like the one genre I've never really been into is like just like straight up romance. Like I can stand like contemporaries, you know, that have little romance in them, but like straight up romance books have never been my thing. But I guess that's because I really define romance as like those old like the mass market paperbacks you find that are like romances, and most of the time they have half naked men on the cover, and I'm like, no.
I read a lot of stuff that I personally classify as romance, but they're usually like young adult and they have more than romance. There's like that coming of age.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I technically like, I'll look at a book and I'm like, oh my god, it's romance, but like I definitely don't define it as that. But I think for me, I always drilled into my head that romance books are like, you know, the mass market paperback things that you'll find, you know, that have the weirdest names. I call them old French lady romances, for no reason other than when I go to the beach, that's what the old French ladies who are there are reading. All of the old ladies are reading those at the beach. I think that might just be like a main thing. Maybe it's just a my family thing, but like whenever I think of those mass market paperback ones, I think old French ladies.
Same.
Yeah. I don't know why I think about that. Yeah. I'm very much a mood reader, so I don't usually make TBR. That's why I don't make TBRs, because I'm like, well, I'm a mood reader, so this is not going to be complete anyway, you know, ever.
Yeah, I mean, like as I said, I mostly read contemporary fiction, but like I'll dabble into every single genre, fiction or nonfiction.
And like I tend to only read like nonfiction biography books if they're for an English class. Like I think the most I've ever read, like the most, like this year had the most like biography books I've ever read in it, because I was in an English class that was called World Issues or something like that. And so it was like reading biographies and stuff.
Sorry, my brother was knocking on my door. Give me 1 second. He needed my dinner plate. Okay, so Lauren, you really are reading all the genres, I see.
But like, you know, now that I like, when I look back at like my reading year, everything is like contemporary most of the time. Like it's weird because like if I'm ever reading like a book that's like a fantasy, or if it's like a sports book, I don't know. I was thinking about like books that have to do with sports. I don't ever read those. And it's weird because like I read one and I was like, I actually enjoyed this. So But that's just because of my school's book club. Like, I'm glad I joined that because I get a wide range of, like, different genres and stories because of that. So that's very nice. And, like, sometimes I don't finish the book and I get, like, halfway through them and then I don't finish reading them, but then I pick them back up. Because, like, with, one of the ones we read, like, my first year was Darius the Great is not.
That's such a good book.
Darius the Great is not okay.
I loved that book. It's probably one of my favorites.
And, like, I read that one and I finished it, and then that, like, I loved it. And then, like, I literally, like, I pre-ordered the second book because I loved it so much. Like, I got halfway through it when we read it with the book club, and then I just kind of stopped reading it. And then by the time I finished it, it was, like, the second book was coming out, and I know it had been out for, like, a couple years, but, like, I actually just, like, loved it. And so when I pre-ordered it, so, like, now I was reminded of it because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the little art prints I got when I pre-ordered it. So but I was like, but yeah. And, like, and, like, it's so interesting because, like, I got so many books that, like, I didn't know if I would actually like them. And then we read them with the book club, and I was like, wow, these were actually, like, good. And, like, there were a couple that I was like, oh, I've been waiting to read those. Like, we did The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, and I'm like, I've heard that one was really good, and I did it. But then we did one, our last one was by an author who was, like, not known at all. He's literally, like, and we read this book because one of the kids in our book club knows this author. Like, this author was his grandmother's best friend. And the book is, like, not something I'd typically pick up and read, but, like, it was a really good book. I wonder if I could find it somewhere. I know I have it. I found it. It's, like, not, like...
I love the cover.
Yeah, I thought the cover was really pretty too. It's not like the typical book I'd read. And also it's, like, a very weird kind of book because, like, it's not YA. It's, like, one of those books that isn't YA, but it follows, like, a young character. So, like, it's more of, like, a new adult thing, but, like, it follows, like, a 10-year-old. But the thing is about it is it's set in, like... So it's set in a small town called Yellow Creek, Arkansas. It takes place in, like, 1952, so it was very much about, like, the segregated South and stuff. And it was very interesting to read about that because this child has two very different, like, opposing sides with it, where, like, her mother is very much, like, the rules of the segregation. She's very much, like, you know, there's a reason we are segregated. There's a reason that, you know, blacks and whites are separate because God wants it that way. And then the grandmother, everybody thinks she's insane because she treats everybody equally. And it was just a very interesting read to, like, see that because, like, you read it now and you're like, what's wrong with the mom? She's kind of insane. But, like, you know, then you think about it and you're like, it was 1952. And so that's probably what a lot of people thought. But, like, it was just a book that, like, I unexpectedly liked. And it's actually, yeah. I knew I had it somewhere because I got the copy from the book club. Like, usually we have to give the copies back because it's, like, the library copy, but, like, these they bought and they had the author sign them. So, like, I have, like, the signed thing from the
That's
author.
awesome.
So yeah. But it was interesting because like we got to like talk to the author, and then also there's the scene at the end where I forget what's happening, but like the police are coming, and the grandmother and one of her friends, they sit out on the front porch of this house, right, with shotguns, and they're like, the police were gonna like come search their house or something like that. And we had a police officer in our book club, like we had the SRO, like our schools, you know, they have those in schools. And like we were like, so what would actually happen if somebody did that? Like, what would happen today? So it was very interesting to hear that. Like, but it was also interesting because a lot of these people in this book had like crazy weird names. You know, they would call people like Miss Minnie Mouse, and I was like, what is this? That can't be like her actual name, right? Like, and they had like Vanilla, and I'm like, okay, these are just, you know, weird names, and I guess they were, you know, kind of just nicknames.
Lauren, for your comment about what book are we excited to read after our current read. I'm really excited to read the next book in this series, and that might seem like an obvious answer, but I am notorious for never, ever, ever continuing series. I will always read the first book, and that's it. I read them like they're standalones. So this series I'll actually be continuing.
I'm probably gonna read Blackout after this. So that's what I'm reading. Oh, I actually might read a NetGalley arc. Because like I have no idea what I'm reading after this. I want to read Blackout though. That one that recently came out, and it was like six Black authors, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to read that one, but I've like packed it in my bag, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to start reading it tomorrow or if I want to wait till I'm at the cabin to do it, because we have like a road trip down there. Like we have a trip that takes like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, I also have a NetGalley arc that's not that big, and I want to read it because I know it's sapphic, and I'm like, if I do this, then I could use that for that. So I have no idea. Either one of those. I was trying to respond. What is that? Found it. I have a mini deck of cards here for some reason. I think I got it in one of those like Christmas cracker things that you use.
So cute.
I don't know why they were hiding. They just were. This is just, where is it? I didn't know this fell off my ceiling, but it did.
Oh my gosh.
Lion. I made a bunch of these. The last trip I took before COVID was up to Canada with my grandparents. And in the hotel, they had cups, and they put these over them all the time. I think you were supposed to use them as coasters, but I turned them all into lions. So.
So cute.
You know. Oh yeah, that's where it was. I just remembered where I put it, because I put it right next to a bookmark that I have hung up there. Which actually, I'm thinking about when I got it, and I got it at like the perfect time. It's a little Narnia bookmark.
Oh, that's cute.
And I got it at like the perfect time because when I was in 7th grade, we had like a small short period before lunch that we called skills. And my skills, and like depending on which day it was, you would have a different skills teacher. And my skills teacher that I had on like maroon days, my school schedules work weird, read us the Narnia series. And like for the Christmas, oh wait, no. Now I'm getting years confused. I found this. I actually just like found it again the year that we read it. but I really liked it's this has a little quote on it. It's the once a king or queen of Narnia, always a king or queen of Narnia thing. But I have that hung up there, and the thing I always remember about this is that when I first got this, it was my first year in this house, like my first Christmas in this house. I was sent it by a family friend who lives in Arizona, and it was the first ever Owl Crate Junior box that it came in. Like when I got the box, like it was a book box, it was like just something that Owl Crate was trying out, and I always remember that when I look at it. You know what? I'm not gonna try to hang that back up. Welcome back. Which is weird because that's what I always remember when I look back up at it. Is like 7th grade, and then I remember when I got it, and that's why I get them mixed up. I'll just.
Also, I do probably have to go around maybe like the 2-hour mark because I gotta get to bed soon. But
yeah,
isn't it like almost midnight for you?
Yeah, we can probably stay and chit chat for 5 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, no, of course.
Then we'll go. Yeah, I don't know how much sleep I'll actually get tonight because I still have to pack. So it's not that much that I have to pack, but I do better packing at night for some reason. So, I'll just do that. There's something in my eye. Everything is falling tonight. It's a bear.
Oh.
It's a little British bear.
Yeah, I feel like
an American bear. I have no other bears, but
I don't have any bears. I do have to power clean my room after this though, because I'm gonna have a guest over, and I just have books and clothes all over the place. Oh, I don't have bears, but I do have bears on my pajamas.
I'm just looking at things on my desk now. I knocked over a flashlight, and then I found these guys. They're little clay cats I made when I was in 9th grade. The first thing we did for pottery was she was like, make a spirit animal. And I'm like, okay. Actually, that's a lie. That is not the first thing we did in pottery. The first thing we did in our pottery class is our pottery teacher taught us to draw ourselves as a piece of pottery. And I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm drawing myself as a piece of pottery? That is the weirdest assignment I ever got.
It's kind of fun.
But then it was to make these little guys, and I call them Raz and Barry because I don't know why I called them that. I wanted to call them that. That's why it's their name. Okay? Yeah. It is almost midnight here, but I always stay up late, and I had coffee, so that means I'm gonna have weird dreams tonight. That's what it means. So.
Yeah, I used to stay out really late, but since I've been working later shifts, I'm usually passed out by this time.
I mean, I know it'll probably stop soon because I'm going back to school and I have work, and then I'll start drama, and then I'll start a bunch of, and then I'll have work, and I'm like, I'll have schoolwork too, and then I'll have psychology, which one of the things we have to do is keep a dream journal, and I'm like, I'm not going to be very good at keeping a dream journal if I'm staying up till ungodly hours of the morning every night, so might not want to do that. But it's weird because I'm like, I've never shared these dreams that I have with people, and now all of a sudden I'm sharing it with the teacher. I think I've told some people about these dreams, but like I literally have a little black notebook in my drawer that I keep. Like it's one specific kind of dream I have because it has like a reoccurring character, and I'm like, I don't know why. I just feel like these dreams are important, so I'm just gonna keep them, you know, in this journal. But yeah, I only really stay up late in summer, so you know. I don't go back to school until like September though, so
wow,
it's like early September, but like still.
That's nice.
Yeah. But like even like last year it was weird because we started actually pretty early for us because we ended so early because of COVID. Like we couldn't do anything, and like of course last year, like this, you know, this past year of course we had ideas of what we were doing, but like when we shut down all of a sudden because of COVID, nobody had any idea what they were doing. They were like, what are we supposed to do? Like, you know, it was weird times. So ugh. I mean, I guess I stayed up late. Like, the only time I've ever stayed up, like, super, super late when it wasn't, like, you know, summer is, like, one time we were at the hospital because my grandfather got a pacemaker put in. It's, like, the one time I can remember it ever happening where I was, like, up super late on a, like, even on, like, a school night because we were never up late on school nights. But, you know, my grandfather wanted to see us, so, you know.
Yeah, I used to stay up all the time.
Yeah.
Pull all-nighters a lot, but not anymore.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of, like, pull a couple all-nighters this past year. Like, when I had to write an essay for English, and then I ended up just reading Trouble Girls, because I decided that I was gonna finish the book, and then I was crying on the floor of my room at 3 a.m. I was sad it ended. I did not want it to end. But, you know, then I sucked it up and wrote my rhetoric essay, so, you know, very big changes there. And, like, it wasn't even, like, a rhetoric essay on, like, some happy book. It was a rhetoric essay on a book about child soldiers, so, you know, going from one very devastating thing to another. They may have been, you know, devastating in two different completely different ways, but, you know, it still doesn't matter. They were both very devastating to me, okay? See, I have, like, once. But whenever I tell myself I'm going to pull an all-nighter, it never ends up happening. But sometimes I just accidentally pull all-nighters, and I'm like, you know, I should have done this the other day.
No, I have pulled many all-nighters in my life.
But I have a feeling that I'm going to start pulling more because I might start pulling, like, more because now I'm like, well, I have to focus on my job too, but, like, also, like, there's a thing, I don't know if it's just my school, but, like, they watch your grades, and if you get down to, like, a failing grade in more than, like, 2 or something classes, like, you're out, so, I really don't want to get fired because I have bad grades, so.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was very frustrating making that because my school's firewall decided to act up again and tell me that I couldn't go on certain websites that I know I'm allowed to go on. So that's the one problem I have with my school's firewall. I'm like, great, you know, you're there to keep us safe, but, like, please don't tell me that I can't go on Google Classroom when I need to do my homework assignment. Don't go telling me that it's not safe. Like, That is also another reason I cried that one time I stayed up till 3 a.m. to read Trouble Girls, is because all of a sudden the firewall just decided to act up, and I was like, I'm done with you, okay? Done with the firewall. Okay. It's now like 12:05 over here, so I think we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you all for coming. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. I don't know when. Maybe a little bit earlier. Thank you for
having me.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care.
Yep.